Do people look at you different in different environments? Is it because your appearance, the way you carry yourself as an African American, the slang you may speak? Blackness, a word in which African Americans use to describe a personally, emotionally, and the bonding experiences of Black people.
African Americans have a predicament of just walking into a store. It's not even hard for a store owner to ignore. They watch all the cameras and make sure you don't steal. Once you have paid, their hand is on steal and steal. Scared to get robbed because of the color of my skin, treated us bad and back then. Will this end?
Linguistic flexibility, my ability to connect to others who may differ from me, others who are similar to me. Linguistic flexibility, my way of navigating among masses, sharing one language with many different tones. Tones of brown that relate in speech, becoming immersed in conversation. I always tried to fit in. My speech broken, fixed, then broke again, broken record, but for the record. I always tried to fit in. With changes, addiction, and slang, I always tried to fit in. My speech neither flexible nor comprehensible as I sat in a class of people with different pasts.
You sound white.
You talk funny.
Sorry, I can't understand you.
I never tried to fit in. I knew my speech was rigid, stubborn as a mule, never like ice melting into its surroundings. It never flowed like honey, never as sweet as sugar. My surroundings of whites, blacks, and other minorities. I knew if I had hopes of fitting in, I needed to be flexible with the way I talk. It was never about code switching. It was linguistic flexibility, my ability to connect to others. How people view me from first impression may come from the color of my skin, my appearance, but also from the voice in which I speak to them.
Rewind to my past thoughts.
Blackness to me was having conviction, having power despite having affliction. I learned from my block not to shed tears. Be strong, don't stutter, don't show your fears. I used to play in alleyways filled with broken glass. I used to live next to drug addicts with low class. My block caught fire, and I had no time to catch my breath. Blackness was creeping into my dreams where I slept. Blackness to me was how hood you were. Ghettos where sirens always seemed to be heard. Trying to get ahead and always staying below the curve. That was what blackness was to me. But in reality, America is a kind of trap for black people. It's built into the system to keep blacks under and not in positions of authority. The sight of an unknown black man scares people, and the law responds with a set of harsh practices of surveillance, control, and punishment designed to put down the supposed threat of black people. I suppose, in the minds of a white society, blacks can only play the role of a criminal, and then by that process, some blacks resort to violent crimes to escape poverty and to survive.
Fast forward to myself changing.
I'm a casualty, I'm a feature fatality, my reality a tragedy, as gradually I proceed. With open wounds that bleed, I search for my creed and plead. Perplexed by misconceptions, my perception redirected onto the image projected in my head. My head filled with questions, my ideas are refreshing, an obsession of learning, a digestion of knowledge, with ideas that I can go to college. I acknowledge blackness. Blackness was more than being ratchet, more than a rough passing trying to patch it, more than being a statistic, more than going ballistic, more than going around the hood and coming home in stitches, more than just a ghetto, moving faster like a negretto on your heels or stilettos. As time fast forwards, I look forward to blackness. Pause and appreciate blackness. I learned from social media about beauty, not just poverty. Even if blackness was viewed as being the stereotypical gangster, drug dealer, or teenage mother, I learned that blackness entails creativity of the arts. Blackness finds a community with unity of similar activities, proclivities of fashion, music, and dance, giving blacks a chance to enhance, be free with oneself, have identity, as blacks move with the ties of serenity. Possibilities are to infinity, as blacks unite to fight together in spirit, black activism teaching blacks to be fearless, despite anti-Blackism, despite prejudice, in society where whites is always ahead of us, despite injustice, despite brutality, Blackness adds to one's character and one's vitality. Play for today. Today, we write this story in hopes of reaching you, in hopes of teaching you of real Blackness and flexibility in language. Our past misdeeds we try to relinquish.
I stood fighting as I never fought in my life, fighting with myself. Perhaps my uneasy childhood, perhaps my shifting from town to town, perhaps the violence I already seen and felt took hold of me. Richard Wright. We never had to fight like Richard Wright, but his tenacity teaches readers to become individual in society. He embraces his differences even at cost of being seen as a devil child by his own family and black community. His ability to push all that negativity aside makes us want to push ourselves further to reach our own goals in life.
The ironic thing is, though, at Williamson, I don't have to play it cool. I'm cool by default because I'm one of the only black kids there. Stark Carter. Stark Carter didn't teach us anything that we didn't already know, except about having Blackness and letting it show. Her internal struggles let us, the reader, see both sides of her personality and how she works out the kinks through interaction with her family and her friends. We learn not to be scared of linguistic flexibility and our stability in ourselves.
Arrested. Niggas need a spot where we can kick it. A spot where we belong. That's just for us. Niggas ain't gotta get all dressed up and be Hollywood. You know what I mean? Where do niggas go when we die? Ain't no heaven for a thug nigga. That's why we go to Thug Mansion. That's the only place where thugs getting free and you gotta be a G. At Thug Mansion.